The New Jersey State Supreme Court sided with Governor Phil Murphy Wednesday on borrowing billions to balance the state budget. Assemblyman Hal Wirths is the Republican budget officer in the Assembly and was one of the plaintiffs trying to block the borrowing plan. He joins us now. Assemblyman, thanks for coming on. How much borrowing are we talking about here?
We're talking about over $10 billion in principal, and it's going to relate to anywhere between $20 and $25 billion in interest for New Jersey taxpayers over the next 35 years.
You've expressed concerns about what this means for taxpayers. What are your concerns?
Well, the main concerns are that this is going to relate to over $6,500 per person out of the 9 million residents in New Jersey of new debt that they're going to be responsible for. And this is on top of being one of the most taxed and overtaxed states in the nation already, and obviously a devastating economy that we're in.
Governor Murphy has to introduce a new budget on August 25th. What will all this new borrowing mean for the state budget?
Well, I think the most damaging thing it means is that this could open up deficit borrowing for future budgets. I mean, this is unprecedented. We have a constitutional amendment that the budget must be balanced. And the real danger here is that there's no end in sight to Governor Murphy's and the Democrats' spending. And I think that instead of tightening our belt and bringing in additional revenue, there was never an option with the governor or the Democratic colleagues on the other side of the aisle. The plan for them always was to borrow and put New Jersey further in debt.
Do you think all of this borrowing is necessary?
I don't think the borrowing in the 3-month budget that we're in now is at all necessary. It looks like we're going to have around $900,000 to $1 billion surplus in the 3-month budget, so there's absolutely no need to borrow for the present budget that we're in. And I think going forward that there wasn't a need anywhere near to borrow this amount of money. And the most frustrating thing as a legislator and a budget officer is that he has done nothing, or the Democrats in the legislature have done nothing to make government more affordable or to scale back. Everyone says we have to have shared sacrifices, and there hasn't been any shared sacrifice on the side of state government. There's many programs that has been sitting on the governor's desk and passed by the Senate that would have saved the taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars and could have alleviated a lot of this borrowing, if not all of it, if they simply put them in action. So there was a lot of things that we could have done. We could have cut back each department, but the solution here is to borrow more money, and we're already the second most indebted state in the nation, and it's just a shame. And I don't know how the taxpayers are going to be able to afford this.
Thank you, Assemblyman. New Jersey currently has more than $200 billion in overall debt obligations, which is 5 times the amount of the state budget. Taxpayers contribute about $4 billion each year towards paying that off. We will continue to follow this story.